Well, here I am. Said I'd be able to do this before I leave the house. Because I'm not going to be here. I won't get back till after 11 with Lucy. And then it looks like it's going to be raining too, which is going to double my fun. Uh, Here's an interesting little tidbit. We have a little war going on between showbiz, a couple of showbiz type personalities. Trump wants Kimmel fired for some remark he made. Kimmel wants Trump fired for being Trump. This is just going to get ridiculous. I think it's I think it's a distraction. I think they do this kind of stuff on purpose because they know there's people looking for articles to write, and they'll put them up in some of the news, and then they put it in prominent places, and they hide the real story. Here's a big story coming up today. King Charles and Trump are both talking to Congress today, and I'm not sure they like each other. And I think Trump wants King Charles to order his troops into combat over there. But see, the thing is, and one of the reasons they're not doing it, I discussed the other day, is that puts them under the control of Americans, which means that they're entering into a illegal operation, and they're assisting in an illegal operation or war, whatever you want to call it. And Pete Hegseth is going to be in control of you guys, and they're just basically saying we really don't want to do that. We're sorry, but we really don't want to do that. That's just not our thing. So we'll have to wait to see how that shakes out. They're not letting him use certain bases too, which I think is a good idea. Oh, this is great. I can't, I don't know whether that's true or not or what it means. So we're not reporting that story either. All right. We'll be back to, there's a picture of somebody I haven't thought about him in 40, 50 years. George Burns. I have to check that out when I come back. I have to look him up. Anyhow, I think this is all a distraction. Kimmel versus Trump. Kimmel is well, I don't think he's doing it to be a distraction. He just genuinely doesn't like Donald Trump. And like many of us, he decides to voice his opinion on the internet, which causes some disruptions and whatnot. That's the way it goes. That's just life in a big city with him. What else have I got here? The King Charles versus Trump thing, that could be interesting to watch. There'll be a lot of he said, or other things going on after this probably, and what he does afterwards. King Charles, he could just get on a plane and leave, because he doesn't want to be around Trump. I hope he put Vaseline under his nose, because if that Trump does not smell good, that's for sure. Now Trump wants to accelerate the deportation of children in custody, immigrant children in custody. And I think he wants to get them out of the way because they can be used as against him, pictures of them and how they're being treated and whatnot, and the family separations and everything. But, it's like he wanted to report. Yesterday he was talking about deporting some people to the Belgian Congo that aren't from the Belgian Congo, and that's one of the most war-torn places on Earth right now. So Trump is a scumbag, a lowlife. He's trying to do what Hitler did without the genocide. Without going around in concentration camps and killing all these people. The 2 million people or something like that, to try and rid the country of certain types of individuals. He only wants white people in the United States. He doesn't care what their religion is, basically, more or less, but he does want them to be white. He would prefer if they were white Christians. But I'd be careful about that if I were you. Christians have a tendency to be fickle. They have a tendency to not be that religious unless it suits their purpose. The Jews are Jews, pretty much. But if you don't like the religion, that's fine. They don't like what you're doing, that's fine. But they don't say that they're doing it for the religion. They're doing it for other reasons, and everybody knows they're doing it for other reasons. Trump is trying to say we're in a religious war because he hopes that by saying that we're in a religious war, he will get the various religious factions, and especially on the Christian side, to come over and be with him. And I don't think that's going to happen. But you never know. There's a headline I have to check out later on that Kash Patel got caught drunk again. Oh, well. He's got enough money, he doesn't care. Fire him, he doesn't care. He thinks he's doing this great job. There were pictures of Patel wandering around lost after the shots were fired at the dinner. And supposedly his girlfriend was in a closet holding hands with another man. I don't know who the guy was. There's no mention of that. I don't even know whether that story is true, and I really don't care. The fact that he was just wandering around not knowing what to do. Let's get somebody in there that knows how to handle the situation, shall we? Let's get somebody in there that knows what they're doing. He didn't even have any assistant there to take, control. He's just he's a useless piece of garbage, a rich useless piece of garbage. And Trump's going to keep him around because he likes his money. And he is, but he's not a judicial type person. Now, he's not a good leader or anything like that. So I would suggest that they dump him as soon as possible. What else is happening? Oh, Kid Rock and Hegseth got caught on an Apache helicopter ride again. These guys that are Patel uses his plane to ferry his girlfriend around government aircraft, to concerts and various events and stuff like that. Hegseth uses the military for entertaining his friends. Now, there are two gun nuts. I'm surprised. What's the other guy that's out there that's a musician? Oh, I don't remember. He's a guitar player. I can't remember his name. He should be hanging out with these guys too. I mean, he's a gun nut. He's an anti-human. You know what I mean? See, what's always distinguished us, not America, people, humans from the rest of the world, is that we have a thing called empathy. And a lot of animals, the higher elevation the animal is, the more likely they are to show empathy towards their own and others. We have a leadership now, with Donald Trump at the head of it, that has no empathy for anybody. Doesn't give a rat's ass about anything except himself and how much money he's making that day. But that's Donnie Boy. You know how he is. He's a ridiculous idiot that nobody wants anything to do with, but he's there, and we're stuck with him for now. And like I said, getting rid of him isn't really a a solution. Trump is smart that way. He has the succession set up that the people that are in line behind him, nobody wants as president, except maybe Rubio, but I don't think they want him because he won't do what they want him to do. He's not as vicious as Trump is, you know? He's more of a moderate, and so he's not going to get elected. But we'll wait and see what happens there. That's another story to happen, you know? But you look at Pete Hegseth, you got RFK. These guys are all in succession to be president. If it would take a lot to get, I think it takes a lot to get to Hegseth, and a lot more to get to Kennedy. But there are people in front of them that could refuse the job. They're not. It's not a mandatory. I don't believe it's mandatory they take the job. I think they're allowed to refuse it and pass it down the line. Now you know that people say, well, they would never do that. You know, being president, that's what I want to be. You know, well, it depends. You know, how Trump dies. If Trump's shot and they don't catch the guy right away, I don't want to be the next guy in line. I will tell you this, that you got a guy like Vance, he's never going to refuse president. He's going to jump up and down and yell and sit, go in the corner and suck his thumb and go, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. You know what I'm saying? Now we'll have a Christian government. The guy doesn't know what the word Christian means. He doesn't know the requirements of a true Christian, all right? I'm not sure I do either, but that's not because not because I'm an atheist or anything like that. It's just because I choose not to. It's, religion is not part of my life. I'm one of those separate people, separate church from state. That's me, people. I keep losing stuff, and I don't know what happened. You see me looking around because I'm losing things, and I don't know where they're going. And certain things are moved, and I don't know why they're moved. And I can't figure out what's going on. Is it me? Or is it Memorex? All right. Oh, good. I just burned this light out. Where's the switch? Had the power go off last night. That was fun. That didn't, but I didn't know it until I came out this morning and tried to turn my computer on. First thing I do is check the power when it doesn't work, because I know it can't collapse like that. So it's good to know some things. You know what I'm saying? What have we got going here for next month? We don't have anything for next month. But anyhow, these are real. I do things when I'm, this is stuff I do in the morning. I'm sorry. Can't help myself, folks. You know what I'm saying? Uh, 28th. Wow, this month is shot. So how was your month, folks? I can't go over all the stuff that I've seen that's wrong. And I don't know whether we're ever going to get to a position that we were once before, where we had a government that was for the people, by the people, Because they're not. That's definitely not what we have now. We don't have a government for the people, by the people. We have a government for the rich, by the dollar. You know what I mean? Kind of sad, don't you think? All right, listen. I got to get going. I got to take Lucy down to the spa. I got to get her out for a walk and everything. And the sun's coming out, thank God. But I'll be back sometime this afternoon with a live video. That's the way I have to do it today. Some people say I should do the live video at this time, but I haven't got any of my friends that wake up this early. You know, they're all old people like me, you know. And I'm the only idiot that gets up this early because I have family that wakes me up this early. All right, so you have a great day. Hit that subscribe button, people, really. You know, you'll get some more boring shit like this thrown at you, but that's it. You never get anything bad thrown at you, you know. And I don't subscribe. I don't ask for money. I ask for subscriptions, not money. I don't make any money off the subscriptions. I have 24 subscriptions, all right? I need like something like 2,600 before I make a dime off of them, all right? And then you get paid by the click, and you have to do the spectacular headline thing that they do, that you see on YouTube. That's how they make money, you know? But I don't do that. I'm not that good writing headlines. So anyhow, you guys take care, and I'll be live later on this afternoon. I don't know what time. But anyhow, you guys all have a good day, and I'll see you then.